Churches in the community. Churches are often the absolute physical heart of their community, whether that's a town or a village or even the wider landscape. This is Boston Stump in Lincolnshire. You can immediately see how much of a landmark this is in the town. And this is something you can see in the flat landscape of the Fens from 20 or 30 miles away. And it makes a real statement in the landscape. This is a much smaller church, but again, this is Wood Walton St Andrew, a Friends of Friendless Churches church. And not only does this dominate the landscape itself, but it sits right there on the East Coast main line. And I know a lot of people use that as a landmark when they're travelling up to Peterborough, and seeing that church is the time they know they need to start getting their bags together so they can get off the train. So they're a real physical presence in our community and our lives and our landscapes. But they're also incredibly important to rural communities as well. A church is often the only building left in particularly a village or rural community that is genuinely open to the public. And that can be incredibly important, even just for people who need to get out of their own houses for a short period of time, to be able to have another building they can walk into free of charge and spend some time in as a community space is hugely important. And they perform lots of functions that would otherwise have been used by other businesses or other buildings in the community that are now no longer there. Churches can often have little shops in. This is Tattershall in Lincolnshire, and this is selling church merchandise and gifts because this is quite a highly visited church. But we do see churches that have little groceries, jam stalls, tea stalls, sell eggs and milk as well for the local community. So that can be hugely important. They can be a place for community events, whether that's a creche or a playgroup or a coffee morning. We have churches that hold dementia cafes, that have art classes. We even have churches that are now the doctor's surgery or the post office for the village, as there's now no longer those buildings standing in their own right. So it really gives you an idea of just how vital an asset for the community these churches can be, and how difficult it is if they're very badly damaged or dirtied by bats to run these kind of really essential activities. It's also very important to remember that the church, as well as being this lovely community space, is not a community hall. It is a church, it is a sacred space. And for the people who worship there, who have faith, this is really, really important, because it means that damage to that church, to that sacred space, can be far more distressing and far more worrying than the same sort of damage in either a domestic dwelling or something like a village hall. So whether you have faith or not, please recognise that the people using these churches do. This is God's space, and this is a genuinely, genuinely important place for them. And to see it damaged and dirtied and destroyed can be genuinely distressing. So please do bear that in mind when you go out and speak to your local churches as well.